whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the Haka force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody, gather up close everybody. Kani move that body, kani move that body.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
E te whānau.
Kia ora e te whānau, tēnā koe Taringa.
Nau mai hoki mai, ki Taringa.
Ai, kia ora, ai. Nau mai tātou. We're just having a bit of a kata because we just had a good time getting our Once Upon a Taima for this week. Ready for you all out there? E ngai ui katoa, hoi anō e mihi ana ki a koutou katoa. Nau mai hoki mai ki te punua pāho o Taringa. Brought to you by Te Wānanga o Te Aroa. And just to reflect on, or thank again our guest speaker for iwi o te wiki.
Yeah.
And ko ai tō tātou iwi tērā wiki,
Ko
Taringa?
Ngaitahu, and our guest speaker was Hannah O'Regan.
Yeah, Hannah O'Regan speaking about her iwi kaitahu.
Kaitahu, ai.
So, e mihi tonu ana ki a koe te tuahine. And yeah, if you haven't heard or listened to the latest iwi o te wiki, you can find that in our line of podcasts on SoundCloud
or on Facebook page. It's on there too.
Yeah. And just want to put it out there too, if there's sort of, we want to generate some discussion on our Facebook page. We've been pretty sad actually.
Yeah.
So we want to generate some discussion on there, some kōrero on there, about perhaps some things you might want us to talk about on Taringa. Don't be afraid to post in there on any of the posts, eh?
Yeah, we'll get back to you pretty soon too.
And ask questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, tēnā koutou. But we bring to you this week our Once Upon a Taima.
Ai.
Kia are mai o koutou Taringa. Ki tēnei Once Upon a Taima. In Hawaii at Motutapu lived a great rangatira named Tinirau, who was well known for the pet pakake he had. The name of his whale was Tutunui. Tinirau lay with a woman named Heneteiweiwa, who he had left, but asked her to seek him when their son was born, and so she did. When Tūhuruhuru, their son, was born, she reunited with Tinirau to perform the tohi rite over their son.
Tinirau, kua whānau mai tā taua tamaiti. Our son has come into this world. Now I come to you to perform the necessary karakia over him, so he will grow to become strong and ready.
While Tinirau was a rangatira, and able to perform the karakia, he thought it would be best to send for Kai, who was a great tohunga.
Mākua kai hei pōwhiri, hei tono, kia hara mai aia ki te whakatutuki i ngā tikanga e pāna ki te tohi i tā taua tamaiti. I will send for the great tohunga, Kai. He will proceed over the tohi of our son, so he will grow strong.
Kai lived on the other side of Te Motutapu at his pā te tihi o Manono. And so Tinirau called his pet whale, his mōkai, Tutunui from the ocean, so he could journey on his back to ask Kai to come.
Tutunui ki tai, kauria mai ki uta. Tēnei tō rangatira te karanga atu nei, hara mai.
Tutunui heard the call of his rangatira, calling him to Te Motutapu, so he swam from out in the deep ocean to the shallow waters of Te Motutapu. Tinirau waded out up to his hips, so Tutunui would not beach himself. He hopped on top of his back and directed Tutunui to swim to the other side of the island to Te Tihi o Manono, to the pā of Kai. Kai saw the rangatira Tinirau coming upon the back of his whale, and his mouth watered. Kiko pakake, or whale flesh, was a delicacy that he enjoyed very, very much. Tinirau neared the shore and Tutunui started to shake. This was the sign that it was getting too shallow for him, so Tinirau got off and sent Tutunui back out to sea to wait. He then made his way up to see Kai in his pā, Te Tihi o Manono.
E te tohunga mana nui, tēnā koe, Kai of great mana. I have come to ask you to perform the tohi over my son, Tūhuruhuru.
Tēnā koe te rangatira. I will honour your request on the morrow I shall come and perform the tohi.
They both agreed that the people of Kai would bring him on their waka to Tinirau, and the people of Tinirau would return him on their waka after the tohi. Tinirau left the pā and went down to the beach and called out to Tutunui, his mōkai.
Tutunui ki tai, kauria mai ki uta. Tēnei te rangatira te karanga atu nei, hara mai.
Tinirau waded out to meet his mōkai, Tutunui. He climbed on his back and directed Tutunui to return him back to his pā on the other side of Te Motutapu. On arriving back home, Tinirau ordered his people to get the pā ready and prepare the feast, the hakari, to thank Kai for officiating at the tohi. The next day, at daybreak, Kai arrived by waka. Tinirau brought his son Tūhuruhuru down to the waters of Tangaroa, where Kai performed the tohi.
Ka tohi atu koe, ki te tohi nuku, ki te tohi rangi, kia tohi ai koe, ki te mana o ngā tua hakarere. Mai e te tupua, mai e te tahito, mai e te kāhui o ngā riki.
After the tohi, they returned to the pā for the hakari in honour of Kai. There were all the foods befitting of such an occasion, but Kai merely ate some kumara and did not look interested in the fine buffet of pickings before him. Tinirau was worried the hakari was not good enough. This would be seen as a slight on the great mana of Kai.
E Kai, he aha, you've only had kumara. There's plenty of kais to choose from and to satisfy your hunger.
Ah, Tinirau, your people have prepared such a fine hakari. But alas, I am longing for the cooked kiko of Te Ika Pupuhanui.
Ika Pupuhanui meant the great spouting fish, whale. Tinirau knew this, but had no kiko pakake in his storehouse. But not wanting to disappoint the tohunga, the great Kai, the only option he had was to cut some kiko, the flesh, from his mōkai, from Tutunui. Reluctantly, he went down to the shore, and as he waded out, he called for his mōkai.
Tutunui ki tai, kauria mai ki uta. Tēnei tō rangatira te karanga atu nei, hara mai.
His loyal pakake, his whale, came at once. Tinirau talked to him and stroked his head, calming him before he cut just enough kiko for Kai to eat.
Taku aroha ki a koe, Tutunui. Kia tau e hoa, kia tau. Awhina tia mai iau.
Of course, Tutunui would not let anyone else do this. But as he was loyal to his master, he let Tinirau cut into his skin, removing just enough of his flesh for Kai. Tinirau took it back to the pā, where it was cooked upon hot stones and the steaming leaves of the koko muka tree. The aroma of the cooked whale flesh, the kiko pakake, with the leaves of the koko muka was quite unique. This made Kai hunger and salivate even more. When it was presented to him, he wasted no time in devouring it.
Te reka hoki! How delicious! Succulent and flavoursome the kiko of Tutunui is. Now I am satisfied.
After the hakari, the people of Tinirau readied the waka to return Kai. But Kai had other plans.
E hoa, Tinirau! Would you honour me by letting your mōkai, Tutunui, take me home upon his back?
Tinirau only ever rode Tutunui himself. But again, not wanting to dishonour Kai, he agreed.
E Kai, mā ringa nui koe. Just this once, I will let someone other than myself ride Tutunui, as you have done us an honour by performing the tohi over our son, Tūhuruhuru. But if anything should happen to Tutunui, a kene koe, watch out.
Tinirau called Tutunui.
Tutunui ki tai, kauria mai ki uta. Tēnei tō rangatira te karanga atu nei, hara mai.
As Tutunui swam into the bay from the ocean, both Tinirau and Kai waded out to meet him. Tinirau explained to Kai that when the water was getting too shallow for Tutunui, he would shake, which was a sign for Kai to jump off, otherwise Tutunui would get sand in his gills and die. And so Kai hopped on Tutunui and they went off. When they got to the other side of the island of Motutapu, into the bay below the pa of Kai, Tutunui began to shake, but Kai would not jump off. He urged Tutunui to swim on. Poor Tutunui did and shook some more. By now it was too shallow. Kai pressed down on Tutunui, his gills filled with sand, and the people of Kai had known the plan. They were waiting. They waded out and killed Tutunui. Later that day, as Tinirau waited for his mokai, Tutunui to return, he watched the sea, but Tutunui did not return. Instead, Tinirau smelt the familiar aroma of cooked kiko pakake, whale flesh, and steamed koko muka he had smelt that day. He knew Kai had eaten Tutunui.
Pōkoko ua koe Kai. As you have cooked my mokai, so too will you be cooked.
Tinirau sent for the puni wahine, the group of women who were hine raukatauri, hine māreka-reka, hine tī katakata, hine iti, hine teiweiwa, and others. They were all women and were all trained in the arts of te whare tapere, the house of entertainment.
Haere, watu, go to te tihi o Mānono, find Kai, subdue him and bring him to me alive.
How will we know who he is?
Nao na niho tāpiki. His teeth are all overlapped and crooked.
By canoe, hine raukatauri and the puni wahine paddled to the other side of the island to te tihi o Manono. Tamai te rā, the sun was setting on the horizon and the people were in the wharenui entertaining themselves and resting as they were all full with the flesh of Tutunui. The puni wahine mingled with the local people and presented themselves as kai whakangahau, entertainers, and wasted no time in showing their skills of waiata, titi torea, tirākau, poi, and other forms of entertainment, with the goal to make the people smile and laugh so they could see who Kai is by his niho tāpiki. However, none of the above made him smile. Then hine raukatauri had an idea.
E hinema, me haka. Me whakakite ngā āhuatanga pāreka-reka o te wahine.
The woman performed a haka, not just any haka. A haka to display the beauty of their femininity. A haka filled with innuendo. Kai burst out laughing at the sight. The people cheered and the woman kept performing deep into the night. Secretly, they also said a karakia whakarotu, which is a deep sleeping charm to subdue Kai, putting him and all the people of the pā into a deep, deep sleep.
Kia horo. Tinirau wants us to have Kai back to him before daybreak, so Kai wakes up in our pā.
The puni wahine carried Kai, who was enchanted by their karakia, to the waka, then paddled back to the pā of Tinirau. When Kai awoke, he did not realise he was in the whare of Tinirau. Tinirau was there, waiting for him to wake.
Tēnei, Tinirau! When did you get here?
Kai, you betrayed me and dishonoured your word and my mana.
Kai looked around and realised he was in the whare of Tinirau. It was then he smelt the familiar aroma of steaming koko muka upon hot stones and realised the koko muka was not for kiko pakake, but would instead be for kiko tangata, human flesh. Tēnā nō koutou. That was our Once Upon a Taima Tinirau Rawa ko Kai, Tinirau and Kai, or sometimes known as Tinirau and his pet whale, Tutunui.
Tutunui.
I can't remember when I first heard that.
I remember hearing it when I was at Kura,
Yeah.
but I've always remembered it. I don't remember.
I think the first time I heard it, I would have been sort of at intermediate, so I would have been like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
When I heard the kōrero. And that's actually I probably tell that story at least once a year
Oh, yeah.
to other people. Particularly when I'm talking about the origins of Haka.
Yeah.
So, ko heno te wahine.
Ine rauka tauri.
Yes. So, Taringa was hene rauka tauri, if you didn't pick up. I'll let you guess who the narrator was. And
Kai.
And Kai. But big ups to Aniwa. He was Tinirau.
Tinirau.
But that haka that they performed at the end of the story, in our haka tradition and the narrative in regards to the origins of haka, e aiki ngā kōrero, that was the first haka performed.
Ai.
Hei, nā te wahine te haka. And if you want to look for the book authored by Timoti Karetu, Haka, he tohu whenua rangatira, there's a chapter in there, or a page or so, that where Timoti talks about that haka. And this kōrero narrative legend is written in quite a few puka.
Ai.
But it's something I refer to when people debate whether women should do the haka.
Yeah.
And I know that the book that Timoti wrote, Haka, came out, I think, in the 90s, early 90s. In the closing chapters, he's talking with people like Kingi Matutaira, Tā Kingi Matutaira, I Haka and others, and they're debating that topic.
That topic.
Yeah, whether women haka. And, you know, Timoti says, well, I roto ia tūhoi ka haka te wahine, I roto ia Ngāti Porou, and I think Tā Kingi has a different view.
Yeah.
And I think even when you watch some groups, the woman won't take part in the haka. I don't know, sometimes I think that's to do too with maybe what the haka is about sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I always refer back to this kōrero.
Yeah.
And say, hey, look, e aiki ngā kōrero, that women were the first ones to do the haka. Ne, pewhi o whakaro.
Kare paku aha ki au. Pai ki au te haka.
Yeah, nei pai ki a koe te haka.
Yeah.
I think if you can sort of pick apart the kōrero, some of the pūrākau, legends and things, and there's always a morale to the story. So I think probably one in this one is don't eat someone's pet.
Yeah. I was like, because you might get eaten.
Yeah. Is respecting someone's mana and your word when you give your word to somebody is definitely one moral of this pūrākau. And mana. And another one I too think is the importance of tohi.
Yeah.
So if you would have heard the word tohi in this particular story. And tohi was sort of like a baptism, a traditional baptism that we done traditionally as Māori to babies. Not only babies, when you graduated out of whare wānanga, you would have a tohi.
Tohi.
Both boys and girls, they both had tohi, but the boys would be dedicated to different atua.
Okay.
Or dedicated to performing various tasks in their lifetime.
Yes. Yeah.
And e pērā no te wahine, she would have the karakia in her tohi would be different to the karakia of a boy.
Yeah.
So and there might be various stages in your life when you have different types of tohi. So ko te tohi tērā. Hopefully you picked up some kupu hou in there. We had one kiwaha in there that we had was ākene koe.
Ākene koe.
And then you heard, I think he says, ākene koe, watch out.
Watch out.
Yeah, and hea no etahi ahua tango te ākene koe. Yeah, you better watch out.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Kia tūpato.
Kia tūpato, yeah. Or it depends on the context.
Yeah.
And, a few weeks ago we were talking about mita, and that word ākene actually comes from ākwane.
Ākwane?
Yeah. Tariawa and I say ākwane. ākene comes from ākua nei. You'll hear ākene is actually, that kiwa is actually a very tūhoi kiwa, but it's become widespread.
Yeah.
Ākene.
Akene.
You'll also hear different renderings of ākene. Can be ekene,
Ekene. Akuni.
ākuni. But I haven't heard ākuni koe.
Oh, ne.
No, because I think ākene is tūhoi kiwa.
I've
heard ākene koe, ekene koe, but not ākuni koe. But you'll hear ākuni in te tairawhiti.
Oh, yeah.
They use the word ākuni as opposed to ākua nei.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, but some more meta differences in there, e te iwi. Nō reira ko māua tērā, mō tērā Once Upon a Taima. And te waiata o te wiki is...
I ngā rā o mua.
I ngā rā o mua no atu waiata tia te waiata o mua au. That's all we're going to sing because we've actually organised people to sing it.
Yeah.
Such a good song.
I love it.
Me too. We love all the songs we sing on here, but that's one that always gets me going. And compositionally, it's genius. A Māori composition, Waia Taringa.
Yeah.
Composed by the late and great Tavi Horvath Kātene. I'm not sure if it was Horvath Kātene or Kātene Horvath.
Oh.
She wrote a lot of waiata in her time. She was a prolific composer in the 70s, 80s. And the group she composed primarily for was Mawai Hakona.
Yes.
Who were one of the old school teams.
Where are they from?
Pōneke.
Pōneke. Ah.
I think they were based in the Hutt Valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were one of the top teams back in their day in the Polynesian Cultural Festival, which became Te Matatini we know today. They came second one year, so they've been in the top three.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever won.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I could be wrong. I better check that up.
Yeah.
They might have won in 1973. But I know that action song they performed at a Matatini.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was the winning action song. So another waiata you may know is Rona. So she wrote that, and there's a poi that Pātea performs today. Poi atu taku poi, poi atu taku poi pohiri. Yeah, they do that. I've seen them doing it koro nei hana.
Oh, cool.
So her waiata do live on.
Yeah, yeah.
But out of all of them, I ngā rā o mua is the probably her most famous one.
Yeah.
And it's just got that tune, you just want to
Yes. Sing it all the time.
sing it all the time, get you going. Yeah. So, e te iwi, whakarongo mai.
I ngā rā o mua no atu waiata tia te waiata o mua au. I ne mau. Mama kia mau ki tō reo Māori e au e au e au e. I ngā rā o mua no atu I mahi ngā mahi Māori e te iwi ha pai ake ki runga te rei. Whakatupuranga e au e au e au e. Akona ai te haka ka parahi e. Akona ki te kōwhiti. Akona ai te poi kōwhiri poi. Kora titi ka para patua kia mai ki tō Māori tanga ki ngā taonga. Ao tupuna te nei hei Kau kiwi mō tōu Koko hiwi mō ake tonu atu e. Akona ai te haka ka parahi e. Akona ki te kōwhiti. Akona ai te poi kōwhiri poi. Kora titi ta para patua kia mai ki tō Māori tanga ki ngā taonga. Ao tupuna te nei hei Kau kiwi mō tōu Koko hiwi mō ake tonu atu e. Mō ake
Cool, and that was Ingara o Mua. There goes Kaigi. Love it.
Yep, so you can find the kupu to Ingara o Mua on Google.
Yes.
Find them on there. There's a cool site, it's called, I think, New Zealand Folk Song.
Yeah.
There's lots
It's
of
got
kupu
heaps
on there, eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's no problem finding kupu to that song.
And I think most of our songs, all the words are on that website as well.
Yeah. So, ko maua tērā e te iwi, e mihi tonu nei ki a koutou katoa. And again, hope you've enjoyed this edition, this podcast of Taringa, Once Upon a Taima.
Once upon a Taima.
And we'll speak to you te wiki e heke mai nei.
He kona e te iwi.
Bit whakaronga pi kari kari. Gather up close everybody buddy. Taringa, taringa, taringa. Yeah, tahuri mai ki yo. Whakarongo ki te tangi a te kori mako. Korero flowing at the Haka force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds. Kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira. Whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani kani move that body. Kani kani move that body.
Taringa, he mea tuku nā te wānanga o Aotearoa. To listen to more episodes, search for us on your podcast app and subscribe. Taringa, whakarongo mai.